Good morning. Happy January 6th, 2025. I'm going to have to get used to saying 2025 now. I figured I'd hop on here because I have been knitting away during the holiday season and I figured I'd have some time to catch up with you all. So I had a great holiday. I hope all of you did too. Got a lot of knitting time in, which was nice. So I way overestimated how many holiday or Christmas themed socks I could knit in the season. So the day before Halloween, I put together my Grinch bag, my Bags by Awesome Granny on Etsy bag. And I put all of the Christmas yarn that I intended to make into socks during the season. And I did make 4 pairs. So I made one pair I have to post it on my Ravelry though. It was Polka Dot Creek, the Canadian Hockey League sock set. It was blue and gray and white for the Toronto Maple Leafs because I have a family member who is a huge Toronto Maple Leafs fan, and I made her a pair of socks out of that. I figured what's better than Canadian sock yarn for the Canadian? And they turned out great. They blocked so wonderfully. They wash so nice. Super soft yarn. Relatively fast shipping. I mean, it is international. It's coming from Canada, and it's like California side of Canada, not right over the border here in Metro Detroit. But I have so much more of that yarn from Polka Dot Creek. I still need to knit through a lot of it. I did make a pair of DK Christmas socks. I have to post those on my Ravelry page too. Those were also Polka Dot Creek. I actually had my mom try them on and she claimed them, and then they disappeared for the season. I was like, I wonder where those went. So those are hers. She said they fit her perfectly, so she may as well, claim them. All right, so let me get started about stash stats. So I know a lot of vloggers do their stash stats. I am not quite ready to own up to that yet. I saw an interesting post yesterday by a local yarn shop that was talking about how certain fiber mills have gone out of business in the last year or two. More recently, Stonehenge Fiber Mill. Let me double check that. Yes, so Stonehenge Fiber Mill, they are the makers of the crazy yarn where every skein is so unique, and people were making the shift cowls out of those a few years ago. They announced that they were closing part of their operations last year, and then they're going to close the rest of it by the end of this year, which is sad. So a local yarn shop had posted that with the loss of this fiber mill and with yarn stores that are constantly announcing that they're closing, it's better if people make resolutions to maybe be more intentional about how they buy yarn instead of flat out saying, I won't visit the yarn shop at all this year, which is a good idea. But if we have everyone saying that they're going to swear off the yarn stores and we're not going to go to those, and it's going to help me align with some of my goals, sometimes that's good, but also you're trying to support these local businesses. You can be more intentional about it, not just buying to buy, and that can help both you and the yarn store. You're still going, you're just doing that in moderation, which would probably be a good goal for me. As far as acquisitions, so I'm expecting a couple of my club yarns today. So I was okay during the holiday season. I didn't gift myself a lot of yarn. I did have some subscriptions come in. My most recent Yarnable came in the other day. I don't want to spoil it for anyone. I don't know if everyone has gotten theirs yet. So maybe on the next episode I'll show that, but it's really, really pretty. Their yarn is so squishy. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to knit with it. I believe it's an 85-15 blend, so super soft. Cannot wait to use that. I recently got my Freckled Whimsy, the monthly club and the Halloween club. I used to subscribe to the monthly club, Halloween club, and Christmas club, but I got in on the Christmas club a little bit late. She did it for 12 months, and I think I got in on month 10 because she doesn't always have openings for that. And they're done with the Christmas club now. She might do a new one for 2025. I'm going to keep my eyes peeled for that one, though. But so far, enjoying the monthly club and the Halloween club. My Knitterly Things Vesper Sock Club is supposed to come today. I opt for the 80/20 self-striping, the merino nylon blend. I've always gotten that. That is my favorite base from Julia Vesper of Knitterly Things. I do have some of her DK sock yarn, and that's another one of my goals. I have many knitting goals this year, as you can probably tell. My other goal is to start knitting those DK socks because they do knit up so fast. And I have quite a bit of DK weight sock yarn. There is another blend of, what is it? So Simply Socks Yarn Company makes a rather large ball of sock yarn. It's Dream & Color Colossal. So it's by Dream & Color, but it's specially dyed and packaged for Simply Socks. And it's a larger ball than normal, but it's closer to, it knits up, at least for me, as like a lighter DK weight, but they're super cozy house socks. I absolutely love them. I shared a sock made from it on my last episode, so I'm going to try to knit up some more of that. I get it on sale. They don't always have it though, but you know me. I always buy a color or two or three when I see it on their website. Well, I'm talking about Simply Socks. So this is, I think, the knitting tool that took the knitting world by storm last year. This is the Twice Sheared Sheep sock ruler. So it's a regular ruler on one side. Let me see if my camera can focus. And then on the other side of it, it has all your sizing for, you have kids on this side, and then you have men and women on this side. So you put it in your sock. It works for toe up or cuff down. So you put it in your sock like at the heel, and it'll tell you how long to knit for your size. Love it. And then it is so compact. It's not just like this. You can twist it up. It's like a bracelet. Isn't that cool? Or I put it around the handle of my knitting bag just so I'm not digging so much. Super awesome. I have a few of these. I put them in like every knitting bag. Alrighty. And then I love Knit Picks needles. I have not bought them in a couple years because I've been more focused on like sock yarn, and their interchangeables don't generally go down to the size that I need. I do believe there is a not nickel plated. They're maybe it is. It's the Reflections line that they had a lace line of it. I think it went down to a 1 maybe. And I've knitted socks on those. That was cool. But their wooden needles don't go down that far. In the interchangeables, I should say. So I got a gift card over the holidays for Knit Picks, and I was trying to be good. I was trying not to buy more yarn. I did go all out a couple of months ago when they had their Felici sock yarn coming back, and I didn't know how long they'd have that in stock, so I bought some in a few colors, more than a few colors. So I figured I'd be good this time and I would buy needles. So these I got the bundle set of their Peppermint Twist, where you get the long tip. I think these are a 5-inch, and then you get the short tips, which are a 3-inch. Or 2.5 or 3-inch. I don't know quite the statistics on them. So let me grab. These are, what are these? Getting such a glare. These are a US 10, so the set goes from a US 4 down up to a US 10 in the short tips. So look at that. I love their wooden needles. I think they're so pretty. And then it comes with, you got a little pocket in there. I should probably show the whole set. And you have your cables and your keys and your end caps all right in there, and you're ready to throw that in your project bag. And then you have like a little zippy section up here. You can pop your stitch markers in there. There's nothing in there right now though. And then here is the larger set. Again, these go from a US 4 all the way up to an 11. So you get 4 to 10 in the small set, and you get 4 to 11 in the large set. Maybe these will be easier to see. Look at those. Cannot wait to start a project with those. And again, just the same as the smaller case, you got your cable keys, your end caps, all of your stuff up in the front pocket here. It's wonderful. I love their cases. A lot of their sets come with cases now. And I think it just keeps everything so secure, and it's a lot, the cases are a lot more durable than the needle sets that don't come with like an actual case like this. Like the plastic ones, those wear out after a little while. Alrighty, so what was I going to say? So let's move on to finished objects. So I have my Freckled Whimsy Merry and Bright sock set, or I made it into a sock set. This is the 2024 color. This was not a monthly club, it was a separate thing for holiday knitting. I'm seeing so many pictures of people's socks on Instagram and all the nifty patterns that people used. I just did a 2x2 cuff for about 15 rounds, and I did about 6 inches for the leg, 60 stitches cast on for the sock, which is kind of my go-to. I've been into vanilla socks lately. And I did reinforce the heels. I don't know if you can see that. There's little specks of white yarn in my heels, or reinforcing thread in my heels, just because I wear through my heels on my commercially made socks. That's another resolution, is I'm supposed to wear my knitted socks a lot more, because they tend to sit in a drawer, and even though I say I'll gift them, sometimes they just don't end up being gifted. These blocked absolutely wonderfully. Speaking of blocking, so I had the larger sock blockers from Knitter's Pride, the blue ones. I bought those at my yarn store a couple of years ago, and they've always worked well for me, but I figured they looked a little bit large, and I didn't know that I did buy the large size. I didn't know there was a smaller size. So I bought the smaller size, I blocked these on the smaller size, and they are just perfect. They wash and dry beautifully. And then my next pair is also Freckled Whimsy. And these are, this color is called Waiting for Santa. I think this was one of her Christmas colorways a couple of years ago. I actually found it on eBay. Honestly. So loving that. And again, that is cast on 60 stitches. I did maybe about 20 rounds for this cuff. Yeah, it looks about 20. About 6 inches for the leg. 60 stitches cast on. Did my slip stitch heel, which is my go-to. Nothing really special, but they work for me. I've been on the vanilla sock kick lately. I've been trying to make an effort to actually use actual patterns, but sometimes just vanilla works better when you're listening to an Audible or you're watching YouTube. Or what do you call it? Netflix, YouTube, any of that. Sometimes just a vanilla sock works so much better. It hasn't gotten boring yet, mostly because I use self-striping. So I don't know how it would be if I used a solid color. All right. So speaking of reading, I just finished Eve by Kat Bohannon this morning. It was a wonderful read. It was actually narrated by her, I do believe, on Audible. I've been working on that for about a year. So I'm trying to finish up like all my unfinished objects in my life. Whether that's projects or Audible books. I have so many Audibles in progress. I need to like work through that list before I start listening to a new one. I'm reading What in the World by Leanne Morgan. You know, she's a comedian. She has the Netflix specials. I love her comedy. It is quite funny. I'm almost done with that. My goal is to actually finish that today. And then my long-awaited book that I read was Now or Never by Janet Ivanovich. I was on the pre-order wait list, all of the things with both Barnes & Noble and Audible. So I bought my mom the Barnes & Noble edition for Christmas because she prefers like the paperback or the hard copy books. I mean, she does go back and forth. She does use the Kindle though. So I figured it was the most like a wrappable gift was what I was going after, not, oh, hey, here's something in your email. So gave that to her for Christmas. She finished that a couple days ago. It is so, so good. I've read almost every book by Janet Ivanovich, somewhere in the middle there, like late teens, early 20s in her books, because they go by number. I didn't read some of them, so I'm trying to figure out which ones I haven't read yet. Way back when Pinterest came around was when that's how I kept track of what I would read. So I'm trying to go through my Pinterest boards and figure out what books have I read and which ones of hers haven't I read yet. So wish me luck. All of her books are so good though. My gosh. What was I going to say next? So works in progress. I just started these last night. This is my entry for Desert Vista Dye Works, the 2025 Getting My Degree with DVD Knit Along. So this is my first pair of socks from this dyer. Absolutely loving the yarn. It is very fittingly for January called Kiss Me at Midnight. It is on her Zien base, Z-I-E-N. I know I'm mispronouncing that. Sparkly pink and black. It's different tones of pink though too. Loving it. Absolutely loving it. And I think participating in a knit along will keep me accountable. I've never done a sock knit along. So we will see how this goes, if this helps me cut down the stash this year, since I do have quite a bit of her yarn, plus I ordered some more. And I'm waiting for that to arrive and ship. So what else? So I switched out my knitting bag yesterday. I had my big Grinch bag. It was Bags by Awesome Granny, but since the holiday season's over, I figured I'd switch it out. I have these. This is also a Bag by Awesome Granny, Grannie, on Etsy. And I think these are the Tumbling Snowmen. Zip top bag. It does not have a strap and it doesn't have a pocket. It's just the extra large bag. This carries so much. My goodness. I even have an Alaska hat that I haven't cast on yet. I have the yarn for it in this bag, plus yarn for a couple pairs of socks. So it carries so much. I love it. I think I have a bag for every season now, and I'm proud of that. Glad to support a small business. Alrighty, so I think that's about it. Thanks for catching up with me. I will see you later. Bye.